Buongiorno, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very exciting video because I am going to do a full review of 12 new releases that are very hyped. Some are belonging to the niche world and some are belonging to more of a luxury fragrance, so private collections and fragrance houses that are a little bit on the expensive side, and tell you if they are worth it or not. So if you are into fragrances and you want to know if all these hyped new releases are really worth it or not, then please keep on watching. Let me start by apologizing for the noise. It's extremely hot today and I have the AC running, and I have here a chandelier that makes a noise when it catches some wind. So I hope it will not bother you and it will be more of a relaxing experience. Let's start with no particular order with the first fragrance that I have here, and it is from Kayali. Of course, all Kayali fragrances are always hyped. And the latest release is, let me check the name because it's always very long, Fleur Majesty Rose Royale 31. So this fragrance had a lot of hype, and since I am really getting into a rose scents, I thought I should try this fragrance since it is so loved. So first impression, when I first sprayed it, I was immediately reminded of Givenchy Irresistible, the original one. Not that they are exactly similar, but it has the same DNA. So you have this sweet rose that has a little bit of a powderiness, has this very juicy pear, so it's a little bit fruity, not a little bit, actually quite fruity. The difference, if we have to compare them, that the pear note is much more amped here and it is less powdery, less irisy when compared to Irresistible. You can also consider it as hybrid between, or like a love child between Delina and Irresistible. So you have the DNA of Irresistible, but you have the strong characters, just a synthetic, very loud, strong rose that is in Delina mixed with it. And I think this is why people compare it to Delina, because actually they are not very similar. They belong to the same family when so fruity rose scents, but they are not very similar fragrances. It's just, I would say, the loudness, the strong character of this fragrance is that makes people think about Delina. And also another difference is that I am getting more violet than iris. So it's something sharp in it. And overall, this is not a fragrance that I personally appreciate, but I get why people love it. So people who love Delina, who love very sweet, juicy, fruity rose that have a strong characters, that are very loud, have a presence to them, they will definitely like Fleur Majesty, and it has good performance. But for me personally, it's too much. It's too strong, too sharp, too synthetic for my personal liking. I personally love more Irresistible than this one. It's more softer. It's also more of an elegant experience. Next, we have a fragrance that is playing on a note that is becoming popular, or they try to make it popular, let's say, and it is banana. And it's from the house of Oud. It is Explicit. And I have one question. Why? Like, really, why? This smells exactly like these banana candies. I don't know how they are called, so I will leave a picture of them here. This is exactly how this fragrance smells. And I get it that some people would love to smell like it, but it's too photorealistic. I am tired of this photorealistic gourmand fragrances. It's just too much. Give me something more complex, something that smells maybe a little bit gourmand or a little bit edible, but has a perfume side. This, I can hardly get any perfumey side in it. It does have a little bit of a almost powdery vanilla in it, which is the only thing that I would say will get something like not totally gourmand, but it's still in the same category. So I don't know who would love this fragrance. Unless you really want to smell like a banana candy, I would say this is not recommended at all. Next, we have a release from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and it is Kirky. And if you smell this fragrance, you would never guess that this is a fragrance created by Francis Kurkdjian. It is really a standout when it comes to his creations. This is an extremely useful, sweet, candied, fruity scent, but made a little bit more sophisticated. So don't think about your usual candy, sweet fragrances. It does have an elevated smell to it, which definitely I would expect coming from such an expensive and such a renowned and prestigious fragrance house. And honestly, I like it. This is what I meant before. So here it has this candy vibe to it. It's sweet, it's useful, but it's still a perfume. And I am getting more almost fruit syrup rather than like candied fruits. It's very peachy and sweet, but elevated, sophisticated in a way. I really can't explain it. It's very beautiful. And if it didn't come with the hefty price tag, I would have added this fragrance. Although not really my scent profile, but I really enjoyed smelling this fragrance on me and testing it. It's very, very well done and beautiful scent. Is it worth the price tag? I really can't say, because it is unique, it is sophisticated, but the scent profile is not what you expect from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So it's for you to decide if you would splurge on this fragrance or not. I absolutely love it actually and would recommend it, but it's too expensive for me personally. Next we have the latest release from M. Micallef, and this is Hypnotic Musk. This is quite a polarizing scent. Some people love it, some people hate it. I have to say you have to be into sweet musky scents to enjoy this fragrance. I had the chance to smell it before it was released at Essence, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't change my mind when I got a sample and started to test the fragrance. It's a very niche-like, fruity, sweet, vanilla musk scent. Is it extraordinary? No, it's not like a mind-blowing scent. It's not something that I would say run and get it. It's very, very nice. And the fragrance that I can compare it to is another fragrance that I actually smelled at Essence, and it is Blonde Redhead from Neido. I never know how to pronounce that brand. So they have a lot of similarities. Let's say they belong to the same family, have the same vibe, but Hypnotic Musk is much more smoother, very smooth and less sharp, less synthetic. It is still synthetic, but not as much as Blonde Redhead. So if you loved that fragrance and you wanted something a little bit more elegant, more sophisticated, I would say this one is for you. It's a very pink fragrance. It's like the bottle. And when I smell it, the image that comes to my mind is pink sugar. I really enjoyed the fragrance. It's not something that I would add to my collection because it is a little bit too fruity, too sweet for my personal liking. But if you are into these kind of fragrances, you will enjoy it. Next, we have Oud Talisman from Dior. I know that fragrance was released quite a while ago, but it is one of the newest releases from the house. There is a new one, Rose Stars, that I can't wait to test. I will definitely do a review as soon as I get my hands on a sample, or if I like it, like a full bottle. And this fragrance, again, people either loved or hated, or I shouldn't say love or hate it. Mostly people were disappointed. They were waiting for something different from Francis Kurkdjian. And I have to say, I have to join the club when it comes to the disappointment of what Francis Kurkdjian is doing to Christian Dior, but let's not get into it now. When it comes to Oud Talisman, I have to say I am one of the people who actually loved it. It's a very sweet, woody, smoky fragrance. People compare it to By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela. They belong to the same family, let's say, but they are not similar fragrances. So you have the smoky, woody, sweet touch that is in By the Fireplace, but here it's much more of a strong experience, much more woody, dense experience. So it smells to me more like Amira L'Oud Intense Wood from Maltafa, which people also say it is very similar to By the Fireplace. Again, I don't see the resemblance. So this one is more similar to that fragrance, not to By the Fireplace, because woods here are very, very strong, and it's not as smoky as by the fireplace, and the vanilla here is very, very, very strong. So overall, I would categorize it as a sweet vanilla woody fragrance. And the more you go towards the dry down, the more you will get the vanilla. Actually, in the dry down, I would even categorize it as a vanilla fragrance. Very, very, very beautiful. Also, if fragrances like Lune Feline from Atelier des Ors was a little bit too rubbery smelling for you, you want something that is more vanillic or sweeter without the spices, I think you will also like this one. I really, really enjoyed this fragrance. I actually would consider buying a full bottle of it, not like 100 ml, but maybe of the small bottles that Christian Dior has. I would definitely consider buying this fragrance. Next, we have the new release from the private collection from Narciso Rodriguez, Saffron Musk. I am working on the buying guide, guys. I'm just missing Amber Musk. I wanted to test that fragrance before going through with the buying guide. Anyway, returning to Saffron Musk, this is a transparent, almost clean, suede saffron fragrance. It's slightly animalic, but not totally. It's almost like a clean animalic smell. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's not a dirty animalic smell. Very, very simple and not musky. So the musk here is really taking a back seat. It's mostly about suede, about saffron. So I guess it's the musk that gives this cleanliness to the fragrance. And it's unisex, leaning, definitely masculine. But overall, I would say I did not enjoy so much this fragrance. It just didn't wow me. It's just a okay scent, let's say. So although I love saffron and I love Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, this was kind of a flop fragrance because not special enough for me to recommend it. Like, it's just okay. Let's leave it at that. Next, we have a fragrance from Tom Ford, and it is Rose Exposed. This is a very sharp, slightly peppery, slightly animalic rose scent. In the beginning, it's very off-putting. Let me be totally honest. I did not enjoy the opening. The dry down is more tolerable, but it's a very particular rose, let's say. It's a unisex rose. Let me start by saying that. And you definitely have to be okay with pepper in your fragrances. The pepperiness is in the beginning and it does not tone down. It remains till the end of this fragrance. And overall, I don't feel like it is a very special fragrance. Like when it comes to leather rose scents, I prefer fragrances like, for example, French Leather from Memo. And even when it comes to peppery rose, it's not it. Also the price tag of Tom Ford is outrageous. And I don't know if it's me, but I feel like the hype of Tom Ford fragrances really died down quite a bit. They lost the edge, the thing that made them so special. And with one price hike after another, you just say, it's not worth it. Let's go for any other niche house and you will get maybe a better experience. So this one I actually would not recommend. By the way, people say that this is the rebottling of Rose de Russie. Remember a couple of years ago, Tom Ford came out with 3 rose scents. So Rose d'Amalfi, Rose, Rose de Chine and Rose de Russie. And then they discontinued the Rose de Russie and rebottled it and named it Rose Exposed. I've never tested that fragrance, but it probably is. I can say for sure, because I remember that Rose de Russie was a leathery rose scent that is on the unisex side. So anyway, that was Rose Exposed. Speaking about Tom Ford, the next fragrance comes from Cartier Barcelona, which is the first time that I ever test a fragrance from that house. And the fragrance is La Playa. And this is quite similar, let's say, to Soleil Blanc from Tom Ford. So it has a coconut, it has some nuttiness in this fragrance, but not as good as Tom Ford fragrance. So this is the case where I am definitely behind Soleil Blanc from Tom Ford. That fragrance is definitely worth the hype and worth the price tag, in my opinion, because it is something special. It is very, very sophisticated, extremely elegant. This has the same vibe, but it's not as elegant, it's not as sophisticated. It's more like simple, more of a simple version of that fragrance, and made loud like everyone wants to currently with their fragrances. So it goes with the hype, let's say, but I don't feel that this fragrance is anything special. But I know that a lot of you will enjoy the scent profile. So you have this coconut, a little bit of this nutty feeling. You have this beachy, you know, tropical vibe to the fragrance. It's called La Playa, which means the beach. So it gives you an idea of how this fragrance smells, let's say, or which family of fragrances this one belongs to. It's just a mainstream fragrance, let's put it at that. And I would not have guessed that this is a niche house or a niche fragrance, to be honest. It's very, very designer-esque. But again, I know that's a scent profile people go crazy for. So if you love these kind of fragrances, you will love coconut, nutty, tropical fragrances, dense fragrances. You will love this one. For me, personally, it was not worth it. Next, we have a fragrance from Gritty, and it is Eclectic. This is melon, berries with coconut and vanilla. It would have been totally not memorable fragrance if it wasn't for the melon note, which honestly I wouldn't have individualized. Like, if I didn't read the notes beforehand, I would have not guessed that there is melon. I got something fruity, something tropical, coconutty, sweet, but not exactly melon. But I feel it is what makes this fragrance a little bit different. But the melon note is very, very toned down and dried out. It's a very creamy vanilla coconut fruity fragrance. Not again my scent profile, and my issue with Gritty fragrances in general, again, they are just too synthetic. This is the modern Italian perfumery, which I don't like. But if you love that kind of perfume school, let's say, or trend where it's very loud, synthetic, it's not a loud fragrance, let me rephrase it, which is kind of a simple, not such a complex or elegant experience. A fragrance that has more of a presence to it, is more on the fruity, tropical, sweet side. You will like this one. I'm not hating the fragrance, honestly. It's just me. I don't like that scent profile, and I would never pay that amount of money for such a scent, for these kind of scent profiles also. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. Next, we have the newest release from Celine, Un été français, or a French summer, and this is a very summery, yellow floral, vanilla, powdery scent. And honestly, I can't explain what I'm smelling in this fragrance. Like, I am getting the vanilla, I am getting this creamy yellow flower aspect to the fragrance. But if you look up the notes, the main, like, say, character is a note that I am not familiar with, which is ghost. I don't know how to pronounce it. I will leave like the picture and the notes here so you can see it. It could be what makes this fragrance special, because this scent profile, again, we are talking about an undone and overdone scent profile, but this one is quite special. There is something that makes it different to others. Like, if you go on the section where people say what this fragrance reminds me of on Fragrantica, you will see Soleil Blanc, Secret du Nil, Beach Walk, Sun-Kissed Goddess, and I get it. Like, you can see it's this beachy, tropical, creamy, vanilla, a little bit sweet DNA, but there is something that is special about this one. So yes, it belongs to this family. I would say it's more similar to Sun-Kissed Goddess from Kilian than to Soleil Blanc, or like Soleil Blanc I don't get the resemblance to. Let's put it out there. And also a little bit of Beach Walk maybe, but if I have to like pick one fragrance that is similar to this one, it would be Sun-Kissed Goddess. But it's special. Now, Celine fragrances have a DNA that is very, very powdery. Most of the fragrances from a Celine have orris in them or have a powdery aspect to them, and this is not an exception. So I don't know where this powderiness comes from in this fragrance specifically, because I'm not familiar with this note of coarse, this tropical flower. I presume it's not a fragrance that I personally would go out of my way to get or to buy, but it is unique enough. If you love these fragrances that I've mentioned, you love that scent profile, to maybe give it a try, because I actually find it quite special and deserving, let's say, it's a price tag. I know that some of you will disagree with me. For me, Celine is a fragrance house that deserves the price tag. Celine is for me like Chanel, like Dior. If I love a fragrance from these houses, I do not care. I do not care how much these fragrances cost, because they are special. They have something, they are elegant. But I know that some of you mentioned to me that you find Celine not worth the hype or the price tag. For me personally, it's a fragrance house that definitely deserves it. So again, just my personal opinion. Next, we have the newest release from the Portraits collection from Penhaligon's, and it is the Fortuous Finley. This is a masculine fragrance. This is a very unique scent, and just the look at the notes, you will get why it is so unique. So it's a marine nutty fragrance. I've never smelled something like that, or even with these notes. There is no seaweed in this fragrance mentioned, at least in the notes, but I get this, I wouldn't say fishy, it's not a fishy fragrance, but this marine effect to the fragrance. And it could be from the matcha. Am I the only one who gets something fishy in matcha tea? This is why I don't like matcha. When I smell matcha, when I taste it, I smell or I taste something fishy. I don't know. I know it should be like an earthy smell. Whatever kind of matcha I tried, I always get this fishy note in it. So I don't know. I know it looks as if I am saying that this is a bad fragrance. It's not actually. That it just has something that gives it this marine effect, but mixed with the nuttiness. It's really something special. All of that to say, in a nutshell, this is a clean marine scent mixed with cardamom and pistachio. Very, very unique scent. But I have to be honest, I am not 100% sold on this fragrance. Like when it comes to uniqueness, 10 out of 10. Very, very unique. But I am not sure that I am totally in love with it. Like it's not like that. It is something that I would love to smell on a man. I have also to mention, I am very picky when it comes to men fragrances. For a men fragrance to wow me, it takes a lot. Yeah, I am very, very picky. So the fact that I am not hating it, that I find it intriguing, unique, says a lot. Last fragrance is one of the best discoveries I made this year, and it is Iladaria from Creed. I'm actually wearing it. I feel like it's complementing my outfit and my makeup today. It's a very, very feminine rose powdery scent. A stunning powdery musky rose. Very, very beautiful. It smells like this very pink dewy rose mixed with a cosmetic puff. It doesn't smell like violet or like iris totally to me. Like a little bit of violet, yes, but not totally. To me, it smells like a powdery cosmetic puff, and I absolutely love it here. Feminine and elegant, but yet also girly, which is a balance that is quite difficult to achieve. Has vibes of Rose d'Amalfi from Tom Ford. If you know that fragrance, it has the same, let's say, vibe. So this powdery rose, musky rose, but here, what makes the difference, I would say, is the kind of powderiness. In Rose d'Amalfi, it was heliotrope, if I'm not mistaken. While here, as I said, it's more of a cosmetic powder. And I just like it more. I prefer it to Rose d'Amalfi, which was a fragrance that I really, really loved. Beautiful, beautiful scent, and clean and elegant and girly, and very, very easygoing scent. Now, does it deserve the price tag? I personally would not pay that amount. Creed is too much, I would say. They are charging way too much for their fragrances, honestly. But I would consider buying this fragrance maybe on discount or something. It is worth it to track down a bottle of this fragrance maybe on discount shops or something. I actually really love it and would definitely recommend it. As I said, one of the best discoveries this year, and I have to thank one of my lovely subscribers for recommending this fragrance for me. And that was it. Are these all the new fragrances on the market? Absolutely not. I have much more to talk about, but in order to make this video not too long, I will do a part 2 where I'm going to talk about the rest, so definitely stay tuned. I will leave a link down below my previous episodes when it comes to hyped new releases or my regular testing hyped up niche fragrances in the description down below. So if you want an honest opinion on very viral hyped fragrances, expensive luxury or niche fragrances, and you want to know if it's worth the hype or worth the money, then go check the playlist in the description down below. Please tell me in the comments down below, did you try any of these fragrances? What is your favorite? And which fragrances should I try next? Looking forward to see your comments. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao!